need a motion to,
City clerk, and plus she has her own business as a headhunter. She knows her stuff, and I think we should ask her to come and help us and see if she will. Cause she can go through the job descriptions for us, the applications and all that, and help us with that, so.
I guess I'm fine with helping lay out what we're looking for, but as far as hiring her as a headhunter to bring somebody in, I think we try to save that money and put it out there for resumes first, personally.
So what Kim said is that was a passed motion
Right.
by the council at that time to hire her for any position. You know, so that we've actually should have gone to her quite a bit here, you know, recently in hiring instead of just putting it out there. And putting it out there, I think, helps avoid any kind of speculation on anything. You know, we got an independent party doing this for us. And she's gonna have probably a far greater reach and probably know some people and gives good candidates. So I think, you know, if we have a motion and we're gonna do that, my belief is that we should stick to that and continue that way.
What's the services that she provides on someone that she's helped? Has she helped bring anyone here?
No, because we should have used her, to be honest, from that motion that we had, I think it was last year. We should have sent out any current hiring to her. But I know she's connected with another gentleman, I can't remember the city. Mark Jackson. And they have helped a lot of cities bring in people. So it's not like she just did this recently.
So she's a recruiter, is that what it is?
Yeah, headhunter, recruiter, however you wanna put it, yeah.
Recruiter's a little better than a headhunter.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, okay.
So I couldn't agree more than what, with what Kim said. Marquita's placed, Avoca recently in the city of Tiffin, which is outside Iowa City, both smaller communities, city administrator positions, so, yeah, I couldn't agree more. The type of skills, the short time period that we have, we're all volunteers, we don't have time to do this, so it's one thing to be on a subgroup committee, but someone's gotta spearhead this, and we've already lost 2 weeks. So it took us 2 weeks just to get a meeting, so let alone trying to put together interviews and all that stuff. I'd rather have a person do that, and if there's a fee associated with it, then that's it. I mean, what is that? Is it? Is it 10?
I think it was 10-5.
Yeah, so, that's just my opinion.
What's the scope of the service she provides for 10-5?
She prepare all the stuff that needs to be sent out to everybody. I think the help with probably committee or something, interview process. We can get more from her.
Yeah, I think I want to see a scope of her.
And she gave that to
She
us
gave it to
back
us,
there,
yeah.
you know, I don't
We
know.
can get it and
Yeah,
pass it out.
You were the one that requested for her to come, right? Right, so do you know what all,
I thought she sent a paper that said.
she
We
did.
got stuff, yeah, we can pass it
And
out.
can we turn up, I'm getting a text now that people can't hear. Can we turn
Hear
on?
just
all of us
get
over
close
here.
to-
It's not on.
Get close to the mic.
Hey, Ash, do we have access to what she gave us right now? Do you
Yeah,
have it
yeah,
somewhere?
we, just few minutes, so I can get it.
We
yeah,
could
can-
grab it. I think that would really be
Yeah.
beneficial, so we could see that if we
Yeah.
got it.
Yes.
I mean, my question would be with her fee is it the 10,000 or whatever it is? Does that just cover her services and recommendation and helping us build it, but does it also cover?
It took percentage.
Yeah.
But I
So how
think
much
here
money?
was a straight, we're gonna read it now, she's getting,
No, I know, but-
here it would be about 25,000 or 26.
Right, so how much was the number for the person you already hired that was paid?
The dollar amount we paid, I have to look it up, I don't have the dollar.
You said it was 25% of the person's salary?
Yeah,
Headhunters or recruiters I've ever worked with have a flat fee, and
Yes.
on top of that, a fee that's a
Placement.
percentage of the salary. So
Yes.
that's kind of the scope of the work
yeah.
is what I would be interested in, and
We got it.
does this have a job, like, if there's a job description that needs developed, is that included in the 10,005?
Yes, yeah, it will be included, yes. And we have it here, Sarah's bring it, we can read it quickly and see what kind of service that she provides. She has good reputation in that stuff, and she is good.
Yeah, it's just been so long that
Yeah, I
I
kinda,
can't remember what,
it's been like a year.
yeah.
I guess my question would be, is Ash's replacement necessary right now? And then that's something to think about too. I don't know. I'm throwing that out there. I mean, it's been 32 years since we've had administrator, and it's not like we're hiring one every month. So, I guess in my opinion, let's take our time, find somebody right. Not saying that we can't use, Marquita or whatever, but, I'm just throwing that out there. So, I don't know where everybody else's feelings are on that as well.
My thought on it is, do we go back, we have a city clerk, and like the city of Greenfield just hired an administrator, that's basically their economic development person, is their administrator. And they've got a city clerk. And the one thing about it is, I remember Mike bringing up after the audit they got, some of the things got dinged on, and you get dinged on it because Ash is wearing 3 hats. He's the administrator, he's city clerk, and treasurer.
Actually, more than that.
Well, but I mean, those are.
Utility.
At least
Those are the
that,
three
right?
major hats. And in that respect, the administrator could be just a city employee, it wouldn't have to be the utility. We still would need like a clerk and a deputy clerk, but we have a superintendent. And I don't know that it would make any difference money-wise at either one, because your superintendent's always gonna work with whoever's at least the clerk to develop a budget.
Right.
And he has probably the most knowledge about running a utility of anybody. And like I said, I'm not saying it's gonna be any kind of a money-saving thing, because you're still gonna have to have a deputy clerk and a clerk and your administrator, and if you combine that somehow with what economic development type of stuff, just a different way of thinking of it. You know, different structure, that this is the time, would be the best time to adjust that if we were gonna do it.
You're gonna be putting out a lot of money for that.
Yeah.
I don't know that it would cost any more money.
I agree, and I think that our due diligence should be to look into it. Maybe it would end up costing more, but I think I feel like he gave us some comfort when he spoke to both boards that Sarah can do the day-to-day.
Yes.
That,
Yes.
so I do feel, kind of what you were saying, Dan, is that we don't have to rush if Sarah can do the day-to-day.
And we talked a few months ago, you know, it was brought up, Sarah's the deputy clerk and what that transition would be. You know, we had a discussion about making her a city clerk, and that fits right in with that. I mean, what is that progression for the employees if that role is always fulfilled by the city administrator? It locks them in, and we don't have that progression to where we can look at separating those roles out, and that might be beneficial to more members,
It would give
more
that
employees.
next person in City Hall a possibility of advancement down the road.
Correct.
Yes. And like I said, I'm not saying that this is gonna save a penny. I'm just saying, let's just look at our structure and see if there's a better way to do it, because this is the time to do it.
It is.
And again, I go back to Marquita, she works with dozens of communities, so
Right.
wouldn't she have the most ground level experience, because none of us have it?
Right.
So wouldn't she bring the expertise in to
Not just
offer
in
the
Not just in the
expertise?
hiring, but the model.
The structure,
the model
exactly.
that other communities
Throw
put
the,
together
throw
and
the
say,
job
"Hey,
description.
we're
throw the
starting this out from
structure.
scratch, and we're trying to figure this out." They probably went all through this work that, you know, it took them months to figure out what their job description and what they wanted for a new city administrator and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Why not tap into what other communities have already
Correct.
done and not try to just like create it all ourselves?
And I would tap into your auditor too, to see, like I said, we get dinged every year, and a lot of it has to do with just our structure. That, is there a better way to do this on that side of things?
Well, that would involve hiring way too many employees to separate enough of those duties
No,
to
but
make it
That was one
fiscally
solution
capable.
with employees, is structure's
But-
different than employees.
Right, it may not take any more employees, but if we change that structure just a little bit, it helps with when you give one person too much authority. I mean, I think we can use the people we already have to do that.
Do we have somebody that can evaluate that then?
Well,
Like,
that end of it.
evaluate,
I
see
think
what we
the
need?
auditor-
Well, that,
Is that the auditor?
That
There's
would
an
be
audit
Marquita.
That's why
trail
we're
that's
bringing
done.
up-
That's what you're referring to.
Okay.
It's not the auditor, I don't need to be a part of it.
Yeah, and just to jump in there for 2 seconds, I think we're talking about almost two different things here. I don't know if anybody's opposed to what Brian and Neil is saying about using Marquita and Mike. I don't think anybody's opposed to that. I'm thinking that, yes, she could do that. She could write the job description. She can do all that. And I think the other discussion was maybe just pull back the reins a little bit. Yeah, we could probably get that, but are we in a big hiring to get somebody in here? I guess that was kind of two different discussions here.
I guess I would agree on that. I think we can take our time and do the right thing.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that Marquita might be the one to lead these conversations on what is the ultimate outcome of the jobs that we want. I'm not against having Marquita help us, I just am not sure that we need to go straight into the recruiting piece.
You could also end up with a grade A top shelf hire, and you're not gonna end up with your last org structure before or after you hire the person. The person's gonna come in and make changes, right? So we know nothing about the ground level city operations inside City Hall, or the utilities, or any other department. We can say we do, we don't. And so you gotta have somebody who's dynamic, I get that, but you can't just wait 6 months to try to hire somebody, in my opinion. I had actually Sarah both put this table together. I just don't wanna end up like Baxter, I guess, or, other communities we can think of. But if you look on the left-hand side, this shows you the work that the city hall's done over the last 30 years. This just gives a 5-year snapshot, but we're sitting very strong, and these guys have done that and held things together. So yeah, I agree, we don't have to do this tomorrow. I just don't wanna think that we don't have changes to be made on what we do today, but also just kicking the can down the road. That doesn't make sense.
And I would just say that I don't think it's kicking the can down the road. I feel like it's more about preparing to make sure that we do make the right choice. I wasn't suggesting 6 months or so. I just feel like we should, Ash feels like Sarah can help us through the next few months, so I would just like to see us go slower and just be really methodical.
So Ash, what do you recommend? I mean, to me, so was it April 3rd?
Yes.
So that's 2.5 months. So that's 10 weeks, so you got the 11th week. What then? Sarah has something she runs across she's not familiar with, whatever that is. What is Sarah supposed to do? To me, there should be a contingency plan in place for continuity for our citizens, period. Whether that's Ash as a consultant, as needed for Sarah to contact, I don't know what that looks like. But to me, that should be the first and foremost thing, to remain stable and steady with continuity for
And you asked me for my recommendation, and I would give you the comfort zone is, maybe it sounded funny when I said it last meeting, but it's a statement. I'm retiring, not dying. Within a phone call, I can be here to help. And that's my statement.
Right.
You don't have to worry if it come April 3rd and you're still not hiring. The next day, if she needs something, I'll be right here to help until you find someone. But I don't want you to stop searching because of me making that statement.
Right.
I just want to enjoy, say I'm retired. And I want to really be coming to help based on I'm a retired person, just coming to help.
Yeah.
But I'm within a phone call. I gave that statement before, and it's a statement, not just saying it to be funny. I'm just retired, not dying. I'll be here the next day of my retirement if she needs help. She's very well trained. I was supposed to retire last year at 65. I'm on Medicare already. I stayed the whole year just to train her. She is very well trained to do the day-to-day operation. She just doesn't want to do the management thing, which you want to hire an administrator to do that. The management thing.
I think the
That
discussion is it the same as the job description is today? How you've laid it out, how it's worked, or whether that changes, and that's,
Nothing's gonna change.
nobody has that answer, you know?
Nothing's gonna change when I leave, because everything you need, she will produce. She just don't wanna have that management thing.
But
She
I
doesn't.
don't,
She's gonna operate as our city clerk.
But what I-
Absolutely.
Okay, but-
That's what I proposed last year,
But you're asking her to do her job today, that you do today.
until you hire.
Well, I get that, but that's what I'm trying to get around, is some sort of
Yes.
framework around it.
Yes.
This can't just go on for, you know,
No.
because
Part of-
it's too much
No,
on her.
that's not what we're proposing.
No, I know.
Like I said, comes April 3rd, and you haven't hired, consider me available. I will come and help, no problem.
Part of
But-
her,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. But she will reduce whatever you want her to reduce. She will make you feel like I'm here. But with the idea that you're going with the process of hiring with Marquita and all that stuff,
Yeah.
that's kind of, so I'm gonna try to repeat what the mayor's trying to say, you're not in a rush, you don't have to hire tomorrow or anything. And as you explain that, take your time, explore your option, do your due diligence, kind of until you get to the right person, because you might get stuck with someone for another 32 years, like you did with me. So you never know, you need to get the right person.
That's the whole key.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So work hard on it to get the right person. It happens that I stayed for that long, and you want another person to stay for that long too.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Yes.
When you came here 30 years ago, what was that, if you went back to
94.
94, what was that top row? The city
The
was
city
using
was
money from
borrowing
utilities?
money from the utility to
Yeah,
make
just
the
for
bill
that
go
record, so you kind of factor.
We were a small town, we were just at small towns, one restaurant, one church, and a typical small town. They offered me the job, I said, I can help, I can, and I remember I was sharing that with Sarah today, that he told me, you earn your salary, and if we grow, you grow with us. And I accepted that challenge, and that's where we're at now. Look at us, look at the progress that we have for the last 32 years.
And the point is, I guess, in the interview process is you want somebody that's got a proven track record. That's all I'm getting
Yes,
at. You want
yeah.
somebody that you can.
Yeah,
feel like you can
especially
work
when
with.
you hire an administrator, you need somebody with management style and, can get along with
You might get a
everybody.
private sector applicant, you don't know.
Yeah, you don't want somebody who wanna be,
No,
or
but-
coming to train or to be trained. No, you need somebody ready to go. Come, sit down and get the job done.
I just said we don't know who's gonna apply.
You will be surprised, you might get a lot of people, because city administrator has longevity, wherever they are, they all like me, 15, 20, 30, all that stuff. You don't get a lot of turnaround, but you don't know, because you have people have issues with their council, has issues with the public and stuff like that, so they wanna change. I've been approached by a couple that, that I'm retired,
All I'm getting at is you came from the private sector before you came here.
Yes.
Sarah came from the private sector.
Yes.
So we don't know who's going to apply. I'm
Absolutely.
just wanting to get this out there so people can have the option and it's published appropriately.
yes,
and all
and
that.
if we
If the
go.
description changes or the structure changes, great, but
Once again, my recommendation, she will handle the situation. You won't feel any drop or anything until you get a new person. My recommendation is to be careful getting the new person. You need to like, that's
Agreed.
two. You are really, especially after we talk about the budget tonight, you're really in good shape. And I'm not saying that I'm on my way out, but you're really in good shape as a city and utility. You have something in your hand, showing you last 5, 10 years of the budget we're gonna discuss here in a little bit, gonna show you something you will be happy in. So everything looks good, just maintain it. The way to maintain it is to be careful with the hiring, get the right person, the way that you want it to be, you will be in good shape.
Just one thing I would add
Yes.
is if Sarah's gonna act as our interim city however we fill the position is filled, she should be compensated.
That's part of her job duties.
Well, but if she's gonna act as city clerk when once Ash is gone.
You read her job duties, that is part of her job duties. If the administrator is gone, she is supposed to step
But
up.
I feel like it's a little different. when
And
he's
what's wrong with
actually no longer
acknowledging that?
employed.
When he,
Yeah, I agree.
What's wrong with acknowledging
Right.
that?
If he's not here, she is acting as the city clerk. And I understand what you're saying, but at this point, he's gone. And I'm saying, once he's gone, if she is acting as, because she would be our acting city clerk until we fill that. And she should be compensated for that while she's in that position.
I have nothing against Sarah, but if that was in your job description, would you get paid more for that?
Well, but in that job description, she's filling in for the city clerk when the city clerk is not present. She's not acting as the city clerk. And if we
Whatever.
don't fill this position by that date, and she is filling that on an interim, I think it's fair, they do it in other occupations like that.
I think you're saying there, it's a title change, whereas if he's
it's
just gone on
temporary.
vacation, she
Correct.
doesn't have a title change, she's still deputy,
Correct.
so she'd,
She's filling his
You're right.
shoes temporarily.
right,
But
she'd
this is different.
fill and then go back to what
Yes.
she was in this way, so.
Correct.
we're gonna just ask you, since we've all talked about you. What are your concerns, get to think of three Matt, hold that.
Yeah, no, do not disturb, I don't know why.
What would be a couple concerns that you would have about that issue on April 4th that could come up that would be troublesome or,
I don't worry about the actual clerk work.
okay?
I just worry about the management issues that come up.
Okay, so explain that.
Like confrontational or something? if-
Yeah, like telling
department
department
heads.
head, department heads report to me daily. You see what I mean?
get that, but I'm
So,
just saying that's what you're not wanting to deal
She's
with.
not into
Okay,
that,
that's fair.
you know,
Yeah, that's why I'm
yeah, we don't blame her, you know. I wanna make that clear.
But I still
So could we
ask
be
so
looking
can
for a
try to
city
help.
manager instead of a city administrator?
Aren't they
Well,
really
there's no difference.
synonymous?
That's analogous to
mean,
me, that's.
yeah.
No
I think
difference.
it's semantics.
I was gonna say, what's the
If
difference?
you separate the two, what you can do is you can bring in a person who is more of a people management type of person. They don't need that city clerk
They don't need the
background.
clerk certification that Sarah's currently working towards
Correct.
and
That's,
goes to.
that's the way I see it.
Yeah, just her concern is just the management saying,
Correct.
she
That's
doesn't wanna have to be dealing with the department heads and TIF and stuff and project and all these things, these administrators.
But that, we just talked about something that's a daily activity on April 4th.
Yeah.
The city council needs to deal with, not us.
Correct.
But Pat is, he can be I'm just joking. So you don't have any problems on the utilities, so
No.
that would be a city concern.
And still now Pat reports to me as we changed that 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So doesn't wanna do that too.
But we changed it to Pat does
Pat comes to me.
Ash
daily
and me,
Yes.
so, or the chairperson,
So
so.
that's a city concern, and that's not our.
That's city
Okay,
and
So
utility.
it's more,
Kim would take care of it.
yeah, I could take care of, Pat has
Which is
questions.
fine, that's what we're saying.
But yeah, but she's, yeah,
She
she
doesn't
don't wanna
want
deal
that.
with,
And that's all I'm trying to
the
get at,
city
what are
part.
some other things that could come up that
Yeah.
we can have a continuity plan for, or some sort of stable.
Yeah.
Sounds like part of that is maybe we need to look at getting back an HR firm that can help out, especially on the more people management side of things.
And that should be
That
on the
should be-
agenda.
Yeah, I didn't know
next-
what the
next month.
scope of that person was, so.
That's all gonna be combined in that administrator you're gonna hire. You have to
Well,
have
yes, but in the
someone
interim.
who can deal with the style of management, city management, because all the department heads has that communication daily, hourly, and sometimes it gets heated, sometimes it gets tough and all that stuff. She's a clerk, and she wanna be clerk, and we leave her as a clerk. So we don't really put more on her. And that's how she explained it to me, and that's how she's trying to explain now. And you would be good staying with that, because that's valuable. With your administrator, he will come from somewhere, he's doing the same thing. Dealing with those tough guys sitting here, see, he's ready to go fight. See, yeah, he's looking at it, it's like, what, you're talking about me? That's who you're dealing with every day. The guy behind him, he's quiet, but You see when he gets mad, he's got a, so they all kind of, she doesn't want to deal with it because she's not the management administrator, and I don't blame her. She will be a good clerk, she will do a job, and anything that you're gonna need from her, you will get it. You will get it right away, like I am here. So throughout that process, we will be able to get somebody. I don't think it's gonna be hard, but I'm with you. Choose the right person, get the right person, and that will be you guys here.
Looking at this proposal from Marquita, it doesn't look like it looks like it started at the point that there was a job description for 10-5, just quick review of it. Could we request a proposal from her
Yeah.
that walks us through job description, through recruitment? I mean, is that
Yeah.
a next step that we
That-
can get a
Well,
proposal?
That is what I was just gonna say, cause I mean, we could debate everything else, but if we're looking for her to do additional, cause this was basically, she's gonna go out and find somebody, right?
Right.
That's it, she's
Right.
not gonna like look at structure or anything else, so we'd have to, list in there what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Hey, what if we did this, so might be a little bit more with the additional duties, but yeah, I think, in the beginning, I think everybody's intention was say, hey, let's get it to her, let's, we can tell her what we wanna look for, and go from there, and let's find out what it's gonna cost.
Yeah.
So,
And to come to a conclusion to this is, she will be able to provide the service. Come time that I'm gone, within the phone call, like I said, I'm good, you get the new person, all the stuff. So I want you to be comfortable with the transition. There is no really stress, it just, I can't stop aging.
No, but it's
So-
easy to say that there won't be any stress, and then we sit back, we're not proactive.
No, we're not
Well,
gonna
no,
sit back.
Well,
We're
I'm
gonna
just saying,
go through the process
we're
of
in
filing.
May and all that,
Yeah.
and then we've got very few applicants. I'm
If-
just saying,
if
that
you-
doesn't take very long. If you
I
get-
think the way that I read her the proposal, all the stuff in the past, she said within 2 months. It takes her 2 months to get that position filled. That's very much where we're at now, the 2 months. Took another month, we're good.
So
I'm not,
just for an example, the job description that you have today,
yeah,
if you just looked at it and tried to quantify the tasks and associated those to the city or to utilities, it's about 80% city, 20% utilities. But the utilities pays about 60 to 65% of the cost. So all I'm saying is that job description, I don't know somebody said that those things need to be reworked or whatever. That's gonna have to be part of the
you can
process.
always achieve it. You
Yeah,
can
that's
always
what I mean.
do
It's gonna
whatever
have to be
you wanna
updated,
do.
because it's probably
Because
decades
it's
old.
established in the city code.
Right.
My job description is the city code.
Gotcha.
You take the city code and grab 15 pages, that's my job description. You wanna add to it, that's your privileges. Marquita will help you with
That's
that.
what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
right?
she will be able to.
On here, that difference you're looking at, for some reason, Ashley Piper, her health insurance and her benefits are completely paid by the city.
I don't know why you did it that way. but-
And Ash's
Because
benefits-
mine is paid, it's like having a half, mine is paid totally by the utility, hers totally by the city.
Yeah.
So it's like, they have it here, they all have it here.
Correct, and if you subtract just the 10,179 off of 84, it gets us down a lot closer.
Yeah.
And the other difference is probably in the IFRS, that's a little higher.
Yeah, they all come down to having it.
Yeah, all I'm saying is the current job description doesn't represent the cost share, so there's gonna have to be changes, and I think you're right.
That's what
Marquita's the one
Marquita will
that-
help you with
And
that.
that's kind of what I was getting at too, with
But
maybe
I
splitting
hope
the
we're reaching the point that the comfort zone, there is no really stress, there is no lot, we're okay.
Regardless of which direction we go with, or the level of consulting that we take in, and what process we do, and how much we pay for a new person, and all that type of stuff. There's lots of questions and lots of work that has to go into that. My recommendation is that we have a person or a small committee that is part of the group that is in direct communication with the consultant. And if we don't use the consultant, then they're at least the point people for this group, because we can't do this process on a 1-month basis. It's gotta be every week that
And
someone's working.
I
on
agree
it.
That was gonna be my recommendation to really wrap it up, which is, you don't wanna wait for the next meeting or this, you need to have a committee, from the 10 people around here to be the one dealing with the stuff. So tomorrow when we call Marquita, she can come the day after tomorrow, we can call you as a committee to meet and, hey, start to work with her, see, and then if we need the council to be, the council and the board to be communicated with, we can call for a special meeting, all these things, but you need a committee. You need kinda,
Cost the citizens, special meeting fees either, right?
and
Well,
I'm
she
sure
needs a
that-
point person too.
What's that?
Like, when she has something to say, she needs someone that
And
she can
that's a
call.
committee,
That point.
kinda, we've done that with James replacement, we've done that with the rescue unit replacement, we've had committee. So you guys choose from each side so you don't make a formal meeting. To me, that's a committee.
Can we form a committee after we get Marquita's proposal? And
Yes.
then the information that we have coming about the HR firm? Because there could be things that the HR firm can help with as well. So it feels like the whole picture is a proposal from Marquita and to better understand our partnership with the HR firm. And then have a committee when we know all of the resources
We don't
available.
have an HR firm.
We-
Big utilities.
We
Doesn't have
have it on the agenda in February for city.
Yeah, I mean, you wanna spend money on an HR firm?
No, I'm saying utilize the HR firm that the city
We are-
is gonna onboard.
I don't know,
Used to be Renee.
Renee resigned, sorry, retired.
Retired.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we
yeah, but
replaced her
that
now.
that was
We
fairly-
got proposal, we will be presenting it to the utility. and
Are you
the
talking
city.
about the guys, the union rep?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she retired,
But that's not the same person that the city's.
the same person.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna replace her, both sides, city and utility. So you're gonna get a proposal, we received,
Pat went in HR first.
with that.
Pat
So,
went in HR first.
She said there's no other firm does it like her. She was doing it on her own, but she gave us a law offices firm, it's like all in Hopkins, is that the name of the? Yeah, so we got proposal from them, we'll be presenting it. We're gonna present that to the council and utility to look at it and choose. He will be doing just a human resources. He said it
Does anybody on the utility board have any interest in an HR firm? Just asking.
It's because of you, for the union,
It's just, the only time we ever used her was for the union.
Union negotiations.
And
right?
that's
That was
what,
exclusive.
once every
Right,
3 years,
correct.
4 years?
So what kind of fee goes associated with that?
well, we can look at the fees.
Marquita's
But-
fee's a one-time deal that
Hold on,
other
guys.
communities
Hold
are
on.
willing to pay.
We're getting off topic here.
Yes.
I'm gonna rein it back in a little bit, so, let's bring it back to what we're gonna do moving forward with Marquita.
Okay, we'll call her tomorrow, tell her to send new proposal and stuff like that. I'm gonna tell her I'm retired, get on
But
it.
we gotta give you a list of what we want on the proposals, right?
I would ask her what services she provides. I think we need to start there, what she would do for us, because she does this.
Well,
So
she's
she's
go
always
right
come out
here.
to meetings.
I don't think that's all she does.
So she's gonna tell us
I
what
think
she's gonna
that
do.
starts with the written job description.
So why wouldn't she just come out and make a presentation on what they did for Tiffin, something like that?
Correct.
We
Yeah.
can get her,
I mean-
we can get her to come and make a presentation. We can ask her to send a new proposal that we can copy
Tell
on
her
it.
to email it tomorrow, we can digest it before another meetings, or, you know, look at it, have her send 5 of them, because they're public record anyway. You know, I mean, the last Avoca, whoever they placed.
We do anything you guys wanted to do, kinda, as long as we're all agreeing on the next step, that's kinda, that's why we meet it tonight. We'll call her tomorrow, get her to send proposal. Okay, so that's the first step we're gonna take tomorrow. Any other questions?
And if we need to have a special meeting, we'll have a special meeting.
When is our next regular, next?
Uh,
oh, it's a
3
few
Yeah,
weeks
weeks.
couple
away.
of weeks. A
3
couple of
weeks.
Yeah, that's a ways away.
We'll see how we can, as long as we started it, we'll communication and you guys tell us, you want a special meeting, we'll have a special meeting.
I
You
mean,
don't,
to-
I don't want it.
Let's see what her schedule's like.
What her schedule, and we already decided that we're not in a panicky mood or anything. I think we'll agree on that. So we're okay. So we'll just take it one step at a time until the idea of getting another one established. The idea of her stepping in, even if I'm gone, established. The idea is that I'm not gonna disappear, established. Anything else I can do or she can do to help with that transition? You tell me.
I mean, just back to Angie's point, not to throw that wrench back in there, I mean, if we're looking at an HR firm that can help with some of this, you know, we have to look at that as a whole picture.
Yes.
So we have to wait until we have that discussion and make that motion if we move forward with an HR firm.
Absolutely.
And include that as part of
I
that.
agree with you, I agree with
So,
you. So we're gonna reach out to her tomorrow, get the information, we're gonna send it to you to look at. And then we're gonna combine the thoughts and see, you need a special meeting, we'll get one. You get close to the regular meeting, we're okay. That sounds good?
Not really, but whatever.
Well, I don't know what else to do.
Well, it's gonna take time anyway.
It is, and we agreed on that, so, but we're not, we're saying, we are not gonna make you feel any difference. Between her and
I
I.
know no more information at the end of this meeting than I did in the beginning.
Okay.
That's my problem.
Oh, how can we?
There's no plan.
What's that?
There's no plan. There's no objectives or little sub-steps of what we're going to do by when to be effective, to make sure that we have
Okay.
progress and,
Let's
I don't know,
take
that's
it,
just me.
I'm gonna take it your way, okay. Tomorrow, we get hold of Marquita, ask her to send information to give everybody's idea of what's her next step is. Because I'm gonna tell her, hey, I'm retiring. What can you do to help everybody? And then we get that from her, send it to everybody. Based on what you see, if you're comfortable with her steps, I can tell her, show us steps moving forward. Tell us, when do you wanna have a special meeting? You wanna come and talk to them, or you wanna go ahead and start, you know? I think that's the first step, if you want Marquita to take over.
Yeah,
And that's, we all agree
I don't
on
know anybody
Marquita.
else, that's the only one that the former mayor had brought to us in the past. I don't know of another one. Mark Jackson's in the same network with her. So-
And I think it would have been really beneficial had she been here tonight.
Yeah.
You know, we had that in a motion.
Yeah.
We, both entities had agreed to use her, and if she'd just been here, we could have been throwing this off her. She could have been taking that back and had us a proposal probably by tomorrow or something.
But we would still need to wait until the February meeting to assess the services of the HR company. So I get that we have a missed opportunity in hearing from her tonight, but I think we would have still had questions that would be answered on the same timeline. So it's disappointing to not have it tonight, but I don't think it throws a big wrench in anything or slows us down that much.
And I'm not saying that, it just would have been nice to have her personally here, where we could present and say, hey, you know, we're looking for this, but we also want you to look into like reorg or something, I don't know, you know, whatever, you know, what you were bringing up and you guys were bringing up, do we do it this way, how does it look, you know, stuff like that. She might have been able to give us those answers
Kim, what do you think?
at some point tonight, but.
I'm for Marquita, so.
And I don't think I don't see any disagreement.
I don't think
on
anybody's
Marquita.
saying
I
that.
don't
I
understand
know,
what the
but
HR,
I-
what is the HR thing? I'm sorry, I just don't know what.
I understand it's gonna take a while to do this, but it's just, we're just pushing it off and pushing it off and pushing it off
That's what I
further.
feel too. And do you guys, what do
We
you
need
guys
to get
thoughts?
started on it and get somewhere.
With the proposal, I think that's a great idea. You know, it gives us a base point, somewhere to start. We're moving forward, let's get that. And then after that, let's make a motion to use Marquita or not.
But like they're saying that on their meeting in February, they've got HR coming in.
But that's completely different.
That HR thing may or may not have anything to do with
But
it.
they're saying
That's what I'm trying to ask.
I'm just saying if there's services that an HR
Right.
consultants would provide, can they work in tandem? Or maybe we're gonna find out that the HR service has nothing to offer, but I feel like it's only 2 weeks to get a clear picture of services that we have at our fingertips. And why wouldn't we, knowing that Ash is saying that Sarah is in a position to keep us going? I just, my opinion, I just feel like we wanna see everything, and it's only 2 weeks to me.
Well, I agree, we need to see everything, but we've already wasted 2 weeks. We know it's gonna take a long time to do this. So now there's gonna be a month that's gone.
So that's a third of his notice. You
Yes.
just think about this
Yes.
from a percentage perspective until the door shuts. Yes, you're available, but.
And yes,
things
Sarah can
aren't-
do
things
it,
aren't gonna be
but
the same, because Sarah's gonna do a regular job. So I'm just saying, you're asking someone to do 2 jobs, which, that's fine, that's a continuity plan's proposal, she's supposed to do a regular job. And
you're
so-
throwing more and more
Yeah.
on her. She already has a hard enough time, I mean, not hard enough time, but there's times that she's running her butt off trying to get done what she's already got. And now we're shoving this on her for more time.
So I guess the question I would ask is, did Marquita work with an HR firm when she hired prior city administrators in Tiffin, in Avoca, and other communities? If the answer is no, then.
It
We can ask her.
Yeah.
I don't know the person, but
No, I know,
can
that
ask
should be.
So there's 2 different opinions here from what I'm gathering. We got the utility side opinion and we got the city side. The way I'm seeing it, if the utility board really has to have somebody, go hire somebody for your guys' side.
Yeah.
And the city can worry about their side or whatever, but, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options sitting here, a lot of options. So I just don't want you guys to get in huge arguments or whatever.
No, not at all.
No,
Everybody's gotta be
I-
able to share their, absolutely.
Sure, absolutely.
I
I've been
just
up
don't
here.
understand the HR function and what they're gonna offer from what Marquita would not offer. Because she should be able to cover all the HR facets of hiring a job if she's been doing that. I've never met this woman, I don't know her from anybody.
Sure.
But that just looks like a double cost for the same thing, that's all I'm getting.
Yeah.
Well, if we already hire the HR person, because that's what you're talking about.
Possibly.
And.
So is the HR
and if-
person gonna
whether
deal
they
with
do
us
or not,
too?
If they hire
We're
that
gonna have a
person, they
proposal
may
for
not.
the-
Hold on, let Dan speak.
And that's fine.
Yeah, no, I get,
Okay,
I
so don't
get
get
that.
hung up on it.
But I don't know what
Don't
else
get hung
they're,
up on it.
but what else are they going to offer? Is hiring part of that?
We don't
We don't-
know, we
we don't
haven't
know.
seen
You have
it
no
yet.
package and no proposal, nothing.
No.
And
No.
who's the company?
we have Hopkins and.
Hopkins and
Is that a law firm?
Hoberner or whatever.
Yes.
They,
That's
the
a law firm
landfill,
that's gonna do HR.
yes, the landfill used to deal with them. Cause when I was on the board,
There's a reason.
yeah,
But that's completely different subject.
But,
Now,
yeah.
let's
Yeah.
back, so
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap it up, so we can have the next meeting. We'll get hold of Marquita tomorrow, ask her for proposal. We're gonna email it to all of you. We can have a special meeting anytime you want. Or if you wanna look at it, feel like you're comfortable with the service, we'll tell her to continue. Just let me know what you want. Either way, we can make it happen. Special meeting, we can make it happen. You like the proposal in order to continue, we'll tell her, go ahead with your proposal. You wanna wait until February to wrap it up, we'll wait until February to wrap it up. You have all the options when you get the proposal.
Again, going back to the issue, the reason that's being brought up is because your prior one is leaving or you're lost that
Yes,
service?
she retired in last, at the end of December, and she sent us, say, I'm done, I retired.
How long did we have that HR person for the city side?
How, about 3, 4 years?
Probably for a year.
Yeah, I think Bill recommended, so it will be 3, 4 years. We had it for a while.
I think the utility board had her.
Utility had it
had the
forever.
company.
That's what, I thought it was more of a utility thing, and
Utility had it forever.
yeah, and the only time we ever
So then
dealt
the
with
city
her was,
put her in? Is that what happened?
The
Yeah.
city
Union.
used her service.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
just,
utility.
what did she do for us?
She helped a lot with a lot of problems, so we can't talk about it in a public meeting.
No, I know,
Yeah, but
Good.
she did, yeah.
okay.
She
So
did.
you guys utilized her more than the utilities did?
The utility concerned only on the.
I get it,
unions.
salary negotiation, I understand.
Yeah, she had a contract with
I
her,
had no idea that she.
yeah. And she's been around for a long time,
Yeah.
you know. With the city, she helped us with some stuff that, yeah, we can't do that. Yeah. So we will do that tomorrow, we'll send her email quickly to respond. We'll
Send her a copy
email.
of this as well, so she has some sort of frame of reference.
What's that?
Can you send her that table, please?
Yeah, we will do everything, you know, and then we'll, I just want everybody to feel more comfortable than you keep, that will not really, panic and just, we're gonna make the transition as easy as it can. Between Sarah and I, we will help as, on a daily basis. Come April 3rd, April 4th, no different. I'm just not gonna be here. I will not be, but I will be within a reach in anything. She will have my assistant, whether I'm here or not.
Well, I'm sure there's state resources also, right?
What is that?
There are state resources too.
There is all kind of resources, you know, but as long as I'm alive, I'm around. So I hope we made progress tonight, and we should be going to the next thing, the budget. So,
Can we?
yeah, you're done, thank you.
Okay, utilities, you're adjourned.
Thank you. Okay.
Do you have any more, Ash?
Yes.
We need one more.
Yeah, if you want a few minutes,
Oh.
then can I, just for everybody to relax. Okay, usually this budget session doesn't take long, you know, just as quick as it can be. Native council members knows the process, takes us 5 to 10 minutes. And we'll make it as easy as it can. Let's go ahead with the agenda, Mr. Mayor, to kinda just do it formally now, because the actual agenda.
Okay. All right. Need a motion on the agenda approval.
I make that motion.
Moved by Caps,
Second.
second by Cobble. How do you vote? Cobble?
Yes.
Caps?
Yes.
Hayward?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
2026, 2027 budget work session.
Okay, we all got that thing that say draft on it,
Mhm.
because that's just a draft. After we get done, you can throw it away, because the actual budget really looks like that. It's big, you know, has a lot of information that what you need out of it is what you have in your hand now. And we're gonna go through it very simple and easy. We get what they call it valuation in the first page here. You see that line 2A on the top will say with gas and electric, without gas and electric. This is our valuation. What one will say regular 50 million, debt service 115, ag land 513. This is really what it leads us to how we do the budget, because this comes from the county. We have really no call on it. And based on what we got here, we start to do the budget. If you compare this to last year, the 50 million here, last year we got 34. So we got a really increase on the valuation. That's what lead us to say we're gonna have a good budget to start with. We're gonna make everybody happy. Not because we'll do miracle, because we got more valuation. Allow us to do the miracle that you're gonna see in the budget. which is gonna make everybody happy. The 50 million, when we break it down, you see line 5, you get in the regular, which is within the limit of 8.1, you get 411,000 on line 5. Comparing to last year, we got 287. That's big money coming in. That's good. You go to line 14, I bought for insurance and all stuff 55,000. That's the same like last year. You go to line 26, I have to stick with that percentage on the left hand, that's 3.003. From the ag land, you don't get much. We got $1,500, which is okay. Line 30, since we are on line 5, still within the limit of 8.1, they allow you to levy for FICA and IBUS for the employees. So I put 191,500. And then you go down line 40, that's what your debt service is, and we'll get into it here in the next few minutes. That whole thing lead us to a tax rate on line 72 of 1547. That's exactly at the same tax rate we had last year. So no change, the same tax rate. We go down now and see, this is a good news here, that we stayed with the same tax rate like last year. Let's go with more good news. The next page is things that the state came up with in the last few years that we're required to do is, it takes a percentage of just a couple of, so a few of that levies of the 55, like I said before, that was the insurance, FICA and IBUS 56, the 190, and they compare it to your valuation. So you see on the bottom, increase of 11 on the far right. That's really doesn't have anything to do with the tax rate, because the tax rate, as you saw on the first page, didn't change. It's the same like last year. But we just have to show this, and the county auditor you will get that in the mail. Okay, so we have to do this, but it's not really leading, or it's not telling you anything about the first page, which you really didn't change the tax. You go after that to something called revenue. How you got the revenue? Line 1 to line 6 is what you saw on the first page from the valuation of the 411, you know, and all the numbers that I gave you on first page comes here. First, the taxes you're gonna receive on line 1, 466, and the taxes you're gonna get from the special revenue 190, the debt service 282, and the same here on line 6. All that coming from the first page that I showed you, the 411 and all this stuff. Line 5 under TIF special revenue. In last December, we have to certify for TIF. That's before the new council members. But that's what we certify for. We put it here. That's what we're gonna, to meet our obligation, we certify for that number, so we're gonna receive it from the county, that 2.0. You go down to line 14, license and permit. That's the money we receive from the liquor license and the special permit when you build a house, all these things. Estimated for $25,000. That's what our estimation. Use of money and property, that money we earn from investing in savings and CDs and all that stuff, we estimated $27,000. Line 16, federal grant and reimbursement, that's some of that money from the COPS grant that we getting. Line 17, you see that 249 under special revenue, that's the road use money we receive. They give us the per capita, you know, for us, $140 per capita comes up to 249,480. Line 18, a while ago, the state said we're not gonna tax the businesses 100%. We're gonna tax them 80, and the different, we're gonna reimburse you some money. That's an estimation of what they're gonna reimburse us. The 13,000, 2,000, 14,000, that's estimation from the state of how much they're gonna reimburse us. line 19, and sometimes get it, sometimes don't get it. Line 19 is a local grant reimbursement that the township will get from the fire rescue and library and all that stuff. You go all the way on the right hand of the capital project, that the 3 million that I'm assuming we're gonna get, that include the chip thing of, we're gonna get fire, we're gonna get into that with expenses. We're gonna try to get a rescue unit and money for the street, for cars, and money for the trees that we discussed that with the previous council. So we had here 3 million to that purpose, and we will talk about it in the expense. We're on to line 27. That's the money we collect from the fees that for garbage. You get it in your bill every month. Line 33 is charge for service. That's swimming pool, they charge for service. Rescue, they charge for service. Fire, they charge for service. That the estimated number is 270. You go down to line 38. That we do something called transfer in and transfer out between the revenue and the expense to take. Like we receive the money in the TIF fund, we transfer it to the debt service to pay out of the debt service. We receive money in the TIF fund, we transfer it to the general to pay out the director salaries. You go to next page, see how we're gonna spend the money now, since we got all that money. So we start with the police. I gave big chunk of that money that we got to the police, rescue, a library. I hope they all here tonight, I see that. So I would say very much what they proposed in the budget, they got, you know. And I got promises from all of them that they're not gonna ask for any more, you know, so hopefully you got what you asked me for. So very close to it. Don't laugh because I had a long discussion with you today. I accommodated them because we got more money on the valuation. So for example, the police, he got 118,000 on the top of last year, beside the money coming to the car that he proposed in that 3 million in the capital project. And we paying for the current car without taxing. So all these, probably, I think the chief now knows that I can't get it the same thing like the Excel sheet. It's spread out a little bit. But when I sit with you, you're gonna see it all combined, give you what you proposed to me. So you should be happy because I gave you about 92, 95% of what you asked me for. So that's good for here, for the police. Fire usually stay within the range because if they have a different way of operating, most of their money goes to their saving account and they operate on the same budget that we gave him, around 18 to 19,000. Beyond that, they go out to the saving and their CDs and operate. That's established with them for a lot of years and they operating on that. Rescue, I gave him the same proposal he's asking for between the one on the general 469 and the money going to the unit that he's asking for. So that should accommodate his request.
Did, just let me interrupt you for 2 seconds here, Ash.
Sure.
So the fire department, and I know we haven't got down to public works yet, but since Stephen's new, did you bring Stephen in and have a talk with him, and did he propose a budget to you?
Well,
I was never asked for a budget.
what's that?
I was never asked for a budget.
Okay.
Said I asked you for a budget, he said you're gonna go talk to Jim and Josh.
2 days ago.
And that's really where we are. So that's, and we got an email from several months ago. We have a record of that.
So this,
Wasn't a budget from me.
so this budget that is for the fire department,
Yes.
has that been, and I know we've switched chiefs or whatever, but is this from last year that the chief asked for?
Yes.
So you just continue it on?
Yes, based on really what comes out of the city to them, we gave him 18,000. Plus, they get the township, any township money goes to the saving account directly.
Mhm.
Any money coming from hotel and motel tax goes to the saving directly. So they get from the city the 18,000. We kept that. Actually, I increased it to 18,500 this year. We kept it. Based on, at the end of the year, they come and reconcile with me. The former chief knows that, and the chief before knows the process.
I'm gonna throw a good thing out to my brother, and you guys know our relationships, but if it wasn't for billing, that department would be upside down.
Yeah, but
With the current cost of equipment and everything else, so that billing that we do, that's why you see the number, and that's why we've been able to put money towards our trucks and such.
yeah, but the fire is really doing it. Actually, the only department that has.
I think that budget's been the same since 1990 of $17,000, and I believe last year we got 8%, which would bump us to 18.2. So,
And I appreciate that, Josh. I'm just really concerned because their equipment, and I do know, and I'm not a fire guy, so if I'm talking out of turn, please correct me. You have every means. But some of their gear and stuff, their air packs and everything else need to be rotated. There's a shelf life on some of that, so I'm very concerned that when they need this stuff, are they gonna come to the council and say, hey, look, we need money for these air packs, we need money for all this, and do we have that?
Yes.
Because I'm very concerned with that, Ash,
Yes,
and
they
to be
do,
honest with
they
you.
do, and I'm gonna be honest to you.
Okay.
Because when you look at the saving and CDs, there is a lot of money.
Okay,
That's a fact. You know,
Okay.
kinda. So they do really have the reserves. The highest reserve I have is for fire department.
okay.
What would,
And if, yeah, go ahead.
oh, you go ahead.
And if you wanna have a major really buying, I'm still getting in the 3 million on the capital project, because you levy for that.
Mm-hmm.
We try not to levy for the last few years and use the reserves to buy, and we succeeded to do that
Sure.
with the fire. So really, the highest reserve I have now, I have it for the fire department.
Okay. I just want to make sure that the fire department is covered as well. You know, I know rescue and police and everybody needs money. Everybody needs to upgrade everything, and I just want to make sure that the fire department is also covered as well. So if they come and say, hey, what's an air pack? What's an air pack run?
Got a quote right here for 2 air packs. I've got to outfit that aerial, the ladder truck. It's $25,000.
For 2 air packs, so, and I don't know what they need. If they come and say, you know, we have 6 air packs that are just, you know, went to heck on us, do we have that to
Yes.
say, go and get it?
Yep.
Okay, that's all I needed.
What's
Bro,
the
Mr. Mayor.
intention of
Just a
this
second.
savings account? And what's the value in the savings account?
Do you mind if I speak?
Go, yeah, go.
So roughly, once we paid for our new 2 fire trucks, we paid roughly $160,000. We sold the 1 truck for $50,000. That went back into savings, I believe, correct, Ash? So when that was done, that took our reserves down to about $90,000. And I believe it's back up to about 140-ish, right? Is that right? So I think the big thing, and being a former fire chief in this community, in the 4.5 years I was fire chief, the cost of everything went up so much that I don't think you have to worry about a right now issue, but I think as a council, you need to look at maybe 5 years down the road of what things will cost at that point and build off of that, because that reserve's gonna go down with the rise in costs and stuff. And one thing as well, we do pay our volunteers up to a certain amount, so we'll have a percentage of calls they make. They get that percentage of the $500. So that normally about $6,000. So you take, I mean, that's a third of what we get from the city, really. So just a few things to maybe think about. And
Sure.
Yeah, and,
Thanks, Josh.
and I understand that, and I think you made a right point. In the meantime, we're doing very well on the fire.
Okay.
You know, down the road, you can always reevaluate that. Okay, so going forward, 9 and 10, that animal control, we consider $1,000 and other public safety $1,000. Animal control is that's really what we spend, kind of, we just number two. We don't exceed it much, we don't really have issues with that. Public safety, they have a joint account between fire and rescue to spend money. We usually put $1,000. They call it building fund, that's what we call it. So that's number, we normally don't exceed it, and we don't have issues with that. Number 12, that the road use money, receive money from the state, and we try to spend it according to what we receive. We're gonna receive 229, we try to spend the 229. I usually work with Jim on the plan of road use money we use to do the asphalt and all this stuff. Now the guys is gonna inherit that, and I think for the last few days, we've been talking about how we're using that money, and they have some addition to what Jim already left for them. Item number 18 is the street budget. That's what Jim proposed, and no change on it. We gave him what he asked for. Item number 20, that the garbage, it's a steady, because what we receive is what we spend, 99,000. You go all the way down to library. She asked me for increase, and you got it, 130,000. She'll be happy. What they asked for, they got. So, and I will always encourage now, because hopefully this will be my last budget, that we need to always look at the library, because I know the technology and all this stuff's coming, and everybody's trying to not look at the library. I'm a big believer of library, and we need to really give him all the attention we can down the road. Throughout the years that I worked, Lisa worked with me on trying to develop and get a full time and get more and more. My recommendation, and that's for the record, to keep on supporting the library, because without a library, you really don't have the heart and soul of the education. So we move on. Number 33, parks, and number 34, that's park and recreation and swimming pool. That's a standard budget we have every year. Swimming pool is a loss operation. You're never gonna make money, but you just try to minimize the loss. You go to page 2, item number 40, that's what the 89 is what we're gonna spend to pay off TIF obligation between development agreement and loans. That's combined with all the way on the other item number 76, when we transfer money into the debt service, they all add up to 2092. That's the money we certified for to pay our debt obligation. Item number 52 is the money that we call it the general government, is how we pay our council meeting, how we pay our administration, lawyers, all these things. That doesn't change much, but we try to be conservative, but we always end up spending more than we budgeted. Item number 55, all the way to the right capital project, the 3 million that I spoke earlier, that's on the expense side now. CHIP is gonna come and take over, from February. In February, we're gonna pass that insurance thing, because we need to pass it in February, just in case anything happen. And then he will be working with you. We already had hearing on that trees that will not really sold out on it, and continue with him. I might not be here, but continue with him on that. We passed hearing and all the stuff. That include the ambulance and the police car and all the stuff. It's included here. Just work with Chip and get things going. You come down now, this is really expensive. Go to item number 59, all the way to the right. When you see water and electric, you have nothing to do with water and electric. The utility does that. The sewer budget is a fixed budget. We don't change it much between the revenue and expense, because the rate doesn't change. The rate is the rate, but we always come out with a profit. That take you to the next page, which is combining now the revenue and the expenses in one page to get you to the bottom line on number 32, where it shows you that you will be on a positive with the general fund, negative and negative on the special and the special revenue and special revenue with the TIF. That negative shows that we will be making all these transfers to balance it, and the positive on the debt service, and all the way on line 32 where it shows a positive number of 271. That includes the utility. If we just take the sewer has about 46,000. If you combine the positive and negative on item number 32, you will see yourself balancing your budget. Your positive eliminate the negative, positive eliminate the negative, you balance the budget. That's why we call it balanced budget at this point. Your next page showing you the breakdown of all your debt. Fire truck, police car, Wamble project, municipal buildings, that's the building we're in, South 7, Carl Chevrolet, All Saint, that's Wamble, 2020, that's Wamble, sewer, electric, water, police, service 2025, the still Wamble. The only one we levy for on the far right is a fire truck and insurance benefit, 250. That lead you to the next page, combining that debt service, lead you to the last page, which will be published in the paper when we get done at the rate of 15.47 like last year. And here, I think you accomplish the triangle that I think the native council members know the triangle that I hope that I get it here, without change. So I raised it, yeah, okay. So the triangle always, I think, Michael, I usually laugh when I say, you keep your taxes without increase, you keep your reserves strong, and then you promote the service. We're promoting now rescue, police, library, all the departments promoted. That's the triangle you're trying to meet. We have made that in this budget. We reached that. The only thing I'm gonna add to this is the request of CHEP. Okay, CHEP had a request from last year to increase the taxes by $1. I'm gonna pass this and pass this because I promised him that I will present it to the council. Mike is familiar, Mayor is familiar, Russell is familiar with what I'm talking about. He would like to increase the taxes by $1. And I will honor that if that your wish. All I have to do is just increase the levy on one item and we'll make it happen. Nothing is gonna change from what I proposed. The change will be just increasing the taxes. He saying it helps him on the TIF. You know, it increased the amount of TIF that it's available for him to deal with outstanding debt for the TIF. I don't see a problem, but.
And what's the highest that levy's been? Wasn't it 19 something, the highest?
The vast, yeah.
The very highest?
That was a long time ago.
And what was the lowest? Do you remember the lowest it's ever been?
Probably the 15.
The 15?
It was 14.
14, yeah.
I think you had it on there someplace, it was, it was on that thing that Brian handed out. If you look at that, I believe.
The policy we passed a long time ago asked us to stay at the 15.
Yeah, we had.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you had in your hands.
Yes, we kind of came up with a financial framework to stay right around 15 and
Yes.
stuff and keep
Yeah.
$1 million
That was
in
a
the
box.
reserve. And here, you know, we got a great bump in valuation. What was it, 16,000?
Yeah.
Or 16 million, excuse me. And now, so you got taxpayers that are paying more taxes just because their property values went up. Now raise it another $1 and then it's a
like I said,
double tax increase.
I am honoring
Yeah.
Chair's request, and he's not here tonight, but I hope he's watching, so I'm just passing out the option. You don't have to, you know, if you don't want to. Last year, he didn't go with that, and he stayed with the 1550 that we're proposing now, 1447. So it's really up to you. You wanna go for it, you don't?
So just explain what it does for us for the TIF. I mean, if we didn't do it, we could still certify for the TIF and make our obligation, right?
Yeah.
It just gives us wiggle room in there.
Yeah.
Right? And then if there comes to be a project, you know, it would give us that little extra for another project.
Absolutely.
But if we kind of hold to what we had talked about, you know, back when you were on, in the council, I shouldn't say not on, but, you know, part of the council, you know, we're kind of talking about, well, maybe we really need to review the TIF projects, you know, and kind of get them under control. But it's just really gonna give us a little bit of wiggle room on the TIF.
Yeah,
But it is going to, you know, definitely affect, the taxpayers in town, that's for sure.
And like I said, it's good and bad, and it's optional, and, you know, he's not really coming, yelling and screaming at us or anything. He's just, like he did last year, and we just had a talk, and we decided to stay where we at, and it's up to you. No harm done.
Does any decision need to be made tonight on that?
I always wanted that decision because when we're done tonight, everything after that is just formality. We'll have hearings and send stuff to the county and all the stuff.
Sure.
So tonight, like we did last year, you look at the minute, we decided to stay at the 1550 according to the policy. And that was it. We took it from there. So tonight would be great if you want to stay as we presented, or you want to go higher. You have the two options.
You could do the $1, you could do anything in between if you wanted
I was gonna say, you could
Right?
cut it in half, maybe.
So that's
You know,
Options.
I'd like to see, because Chip originally presented, you know, a layout that showed, based on projections from the last time he did it, that we were gonna be, through 2029, dipping so far into reserves and paying down, and then we'd have to spend a few years getting our reserves back up. What does this new valuation do for those figures? Does that affect that? Are we taking out our reserves so much? Are we staying more stable?
This budget is not taken out of the reserve, because when you saw the last item that I told you, the negative and the positive eliminated each other, that's mean you're not using a lot of reserve now. Because it comes time, as you remember, we use a lot of reserves to offset that valuation when it gets down. Now, we took advantage of the valuation up, and we start to meet what we've been asked for the department, and at the same time keep the tax rate the same, and maintain the service, you know. So it's really good that we got that extra to do that. I think Chip is looking at it from the other side of the TIF valuation. The more taxes you have, the more TIF you get. That's a foundation. It's anybody you ask, he will tell you that. The more taxes, the more valuation on the TIF. That's why we're saying you guys decide, because it's not really gonna cause any harm or anything. He's still gonna operate on what he has. He's just requesting to do that, and I discussed it with him, and I told him that I would present it like I did last year. You remember last year we had the same discussion, and the decision was to just stay where we are.
And to your point, I don't know what his assumption was on the valuation.
Correct.
I think we had talked about, well, when are those gonna come out? Will they come out in January, you know, and we wanted to see where we are. So, yes, you are right. What does it do? What does the 16 million do to those numbers, you know? Obviously, you know, it allows us to keep it the same. And when you raise it up, you're kind of like giving yourself a credit line increase on your TIF. You know, well, what do a lot of people do with a credit line increase? You know, it's like, you know, if we just had it for the wiggle room, you know, I know we got projects that are probably gonna come up, but you know, our people got one tax increase already, you know, and that's not our fault. That's not due to us, you know,
No.
so we'll get blamed for it. Trust me.
Yes.
I've heard it.
Tell me.
You know, but yeah, but it's like, yeah, we didn't do that. That's your assessor, so.
You wanna
So, I mean, it's, you
meet
guys can
halfway, make
discuss
it,
it.
Well, I still got some more questions here. So, part of the capital projects, you have the 3 million. Now, you mentioned off some of the things that includes. I know we have been talking loosely about, you know, a road resurface project. Is that included in there? Is that something we're still trying to figure out where that's gonna fit at?
the highway.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good luck. Talk
Yeah,
to Mike. Talk to Mike.
That's a good,
I
that's a
give
good
up,
question.
you know, it's kinda like, I really give up, it's like, Mike and I have been working on it for how long?
Well, since I've been on, so.
Yeah, it's kinda like a good question, I respect it, but what can we do? You know?
I don't think the 3 million included any funding for what could possibly be our portion of White Port. I don't think it did.
Yeah, I mean, I know Chip was kind of looking at potential numbers, and we've gotten some very rough ballparks from.
And I'm gonna give you the number that was last year. I had,
Scary, that's the number.
it was 5 million because I was expecting to do that project.
Yeah.
But after what we've been through, and you've been around too for a long time, it's like, I don't know really when we're gonna get it done.
Correct.
I was hoping on my lifetime here, you know, but it's not gonna happen. But to amend that, that's easy. Let's say things happen all of a sudden and we wanna include it here, that's just amending budget and you can put the number.
Yep.
And I hope that will happen, I really hope. But knowing what I know and going through that experience with you guys, it's difficult.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
really,
difficult.
who knows, cause the county's waiting on funding, of course, you
Mhm.
know, for their stuff, so they can't give us any real hard
You know,
numbers
Chip,
on it.
Chip has told us, before, and that number just sticks in my head, if the city of Stuart can just hang on till 2029, 2030, we'd be in a lot better shape, so,
And
Yes.
this will lead you to 29.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it is, I am happy about it because it will lead you to 2029 where you're stable
Mm.
with the TIF and all that stuff. So that's why I told Chet that I'm gonna propose it, but it's not do or die or anything, and you can choose. But comes the next budget, which is, it's gonna be the 2029 budget, you will be more comfortable. Because it start to show now with the valuation of the stuff that we had the right plan since we started it, one board and all the stuff. It was all working out to get to this point, that you're gonna see more and more of return from that investment that we have in one board and culture relate and all that stuff. So like I said, to increase the dollar is not really have to, you wanna put half of the dollar on that 1547 to make it 16, that's, you give me, just tell me what you want, and you wanna leave it as it is, 1547. No harm done, really. It just your choice, and it's highly appreciated to tell me right now what you need, and
I prefer we leave it alone.
leave it alone, that's it, okay? That's-
Personally.
That's the decision, that's fine. You know, we did that last week, you know, we left it alone, and that's okay.
Yep.
Okay.
More questions still. Can of worms opening up. So I know you went through and you talked about, you gave increases to library, to to rescue, to police.
Yes.
What are those increases? What does that cover for them? I would love to see those reports from those directors to show what value they're gonna be getting for that increase, what was included in that increase, what didn't get included in that increase. I mean,
Okay.
we get this very vague number and we're expected to rubber stamp that,
No.
that approval.
You don't
and
have to.
I don't even know what anybody's getting out of this. You know, I
Okay.
would love to know that.
I have it here, right, in front of me, that's the proposal, you know, which is, police is asking for a raise, wages, that's up to the council to decide on down the road. He's asking for a car, and that included here. That's very much his focus, everything else is his routine operation. Fixing cars and oil and all the gas and all that stuff. That's what I see here. And very much, I accommodated this to the point that you guys need to come and discuss on that wages thing, but it's there in a point. See what I mean? That's the police budget.
So on that police, budget,
Yes.
do they keep, will the police be able to keep all that on top of what you're giving them?
No,
Because,
that's-
I mean, it gets
yeah.
deducted out, obviously.
Because that's, police doesn't generate a lot of money, but at the same time, this comes to help with how much is he asking for.
Sure.
See what I mean? And we see here, that's between what they bring and what they spend, if you're gonna spend almost 700,000,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna bring 155, so police will never be a moneymaker.
Right.
It's a loss operation, but that's what it is. Swimming pool is a loss operation too. Rescue unit now is not a profit making, it's a loss operation.
Yeah, and I think what, Councilmember Russell was saying, and it's not that we're calling you a liar, Ash,
No.
by no means, but
I'm having it here.
Just a
but-
better understanding, to see that in front of us,
to have everybody have that number in front of us, like what the department heads were asking for and what they're actually getting. I mean,
Yeah.
you told us, yes, they're gonna get what they want, but I have the police departments in front of me, obviously,
Yes.
but I don't have the other department heads.
We should have made the library for you, you asked for 170,000, that's what you see in your budget. And the other one, that rescue, I just have a talk with him today, and the same thing, that what he asked for is what I gave him, and I went over with him, that's rescue.
And I guess,
That's what's in the budget.
I guess that's where,
Besides that, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Besides that, most of the other department, Jim is gone, so, but what he asked for is still here. Swimming pool, not here to kinda give budget, and I usually do the budget. What other department?
I just wanna make sure that all the departments, the fire, rescue, police department, yes, our evaluation went up. I just wanna make sure that they're getting taken care of, so halfway through the year, they're not coming up and say, can you amend that budget because we need gas money, or we need to fix a fire truck, or we need something. I'm just throwing examples out there, so, I just wanna make sure that we're starting to get these departments where they need to be.
Well, it's hard to say, even with what they asking, hard for them to tell you that I'm not gonna come and ask for more. That's
Yeah.
the nature of what they do. And you have to have that person that is trying to make it work, because how many times we have the fire, the police has issues that they have to have extra money to cover the person going to the academy. That's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
The budget is a threshold that the department head, the administrator trying to work with, but neither department head knows that administrator can tell you really flat out that that's it. What I propose is what I'm gonna spend. I doubt it.
Yeah.
They will always gonna come in a certain position, ask for more, because they have no choice. They down one officer, they have one officer. So as a rescue, we went through the last 7, 8 months, and I had that conversation with Dustin today, that we went through hell of the change that we had
Mm-hmm.
in the department, and you guys were around, that led us to have that kind of overtime. That scary at a point, but what can we do?
Mm-hmm.
We have to survive. So to answer your question, Mr. Mayor, it's hard for a department head or myself to say, this is set stone. No, you have to amend at a certain point, and to have, you have to have a flexibility of amending and all this stuff. Yes.
Have we ever give the budgets to the department heads and say, I'm just gonna throw out a number. Chief Rehall, here's $600,000, that's yours. And let him worry about what he needs to do with that? Is that how it runs now,
That's
or?
my style of management.
Okay.
He has his budget, and I sit with him at the beginning of setting the budget, and after that, on your own, come to me when you're in the red, or before you come to me, I'll be calling you.
So,
That's
so it's
how-
the department head's responsibility to work
Yes.
their own budget, to
Yes.
stay within their
Yeah.
budget. Chief?
Yeah.
I think what might help, and I don't wanna speak for the other department heads that are here, we're not seeing what you guys are seeing right now. I have no idea what numbers you're looking at. So if you were to tell me what our budget would be that next year, I would be able to tell you whether that's close to what we're requesting or whether we think it would work. But I don't know what numbers you're looking at. I just know what I gave you, that's it, you know what I mean? I
And-
don't know what we're actually getting.
Yeah, like I said, if you add 80,000 to 560,000 plus 80,000.
Okay, hold on.
I hate to interrupt, but
Nope.
can we get 5 minutes? Or
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
take a 5-minute recess.
Sorry. Everything's fine. Just trying to get the prostate checked.
Is it okay if we get the numbers right now or waiting?
You,
Is that all right with you? or
yeah,
do
your
we need to
total
wait?
is all 560,000 on the general here, and you have the 80,000 on the,
You're right there, Chief.
that doesn't include the 80,000 for the car.
And then 80,000.
And then,
Justin,
in the long term, we're paying that car the 17,000 here.
Which should be, how long?
469.
17,000, 327.
But that's just this year? That's the last payment on that one?
Yeah, you still have a few more.
For the last car that we got?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's, how much left over on that? It was on this paper. What, 7, was it 17? Or something like that?
You're more knowledgeable enough than I am right now. I can't fit in that kind of verbiage. Why he's speaking that
So, So back to, can it be set stone? No. The answer is no. This number is not set stone. This is a threshold.
Okay.
For department head, for the administrator, for everybody. You just trying to have a threshold. Do they exceed sometimes? Yeah. And that's okay. There is no panic about it. You need to amend it. And you see in May, you see always amending the budget. That doesn't mean they committed a crime or things happen, and you amend it. What you're doing tonight is just setting a threshold to all the department to stay within that. We were lucky to come close to what they proposing this year. Normally, we don't get close because they always, and that's common, they sure hard for what they ask for, which is okay. But this year we came close, really and that's, to me, numbers doesn't lie. When they propose to me 130, I give them 130, it's like, okay. proposed 700, I gave him 680. I said, that's close to what they proposed. Not right on the penny or anything, but very, very close to make it work, you know. That's what we're accomplishing here. We made it close where they should be happy, you know. They're never gonna be happy, so to be honest to you, it doesn't matter what the, they all said it here, but that's common, get used to it. But we accomplish here, this year, the most we can do to make all the department happy, you know, close to what he proposed, and the only issue that I am trying to get you to decide on, leave it as 1547 or make it 1647. You just decide. I think a council member say leave it.
I mean, I still, for me to feel comfortable to agree or to decide to change this, I think I need to see, I would feel comfortable seeing what the department heads' budgets proposals were, and then what they're actually getting, to see what is or isn't getting included in that. I mean, you should already have that information. It's just giving us the sheets or putting them side by side in an Excel spreadsheet for us to look at. And then also to be able to, it'd be great to talk to Chip. I mean, it sounds like he's gonna be here at next month's meeting anyways.
But all that leverage, we don't have it now, because the budget work session, as soon as we get done in February, we're gonna set a date for a public hearing. You know, so right now, here's the budget that they're asking for, and here's the budget, and you, hey, look at it, tell me what the difference.
I guess at the end of the day, I just wanna make sure, cause we're hearing, and I'm not gonna speak for the rest of the council, but in conversations, you know, money has been tight, and these department heads, they're struggling. The departments are struggling. We need to get them and show them that we're moving in the right direction. And try not to raise levies. I get that. I don't wanna see that happen either. I live in the community. But we need to get these departments moving and start rolling that snowball, so, we have good departments, and I don't wanna see anybody leave. I don't wanna see anything go backwards. We gotta move forwards, and I just wanna make sure what you're telling us, Ash, they're gonna be taken care of.
But the numbers is right there. I'm not giving you by the sky. It's like,
Sure.
this is the numbers, you know. Police, I gave him 100 something more than what the budget last year. Rescue got like 55 more. Library got what they asked, and so it's like, this is the numbers, you know. I'm not gonna give you something that you're not gonna see it in the paper or something. Based on what they proposed to me, which is right there, but the most I can do. And don't get me wrong, we're not getting rich or anything by getting valuation higher. We just got about 120,000. I give 110 to the police. So it's like, what else can I do, you know? So, and from other sources, you try to give the rescue, and you try to give the library. So we're doing the best. We have to realize that we're not because we got the valuation a little bit higher that we became rich. We're not rich, but we had more to distribute. And we line out the rescue, police, library. That is really, really in me, you know? Library got what they asked for, police got like, I would say, 92% of what he asked for, you know? And that's what the number in front of you, you see it.
So
So as a rescue, I went with him today, and just what he asked me for is right there.
So this is the budget from the chief.
Yes.
This is what he supplied you,
Yes.
and the total budget needed down here is less than what we show over here. That's 540, this is 559, so.
There's 80,000 shown somewhere else in the 3 million. That's, he has it in one Excel sheet. I can't put it in one Excel sheet. So add to that number you see in my budget, 80,000.
So your budget of the 559 plus 80,
That's higher than what he's. Am I right?
So 640.
yeah.
That's 100,000 more.
I mean, obviously, that's his total, that's his
Oh.
expected revenue.
Sure.
So that's the budget that's needed in the end.
Yeah.
So you add in the
Well, it's still
540 plus
inflated by
that.
100,000.
Yes.
So my number is what I said, is what I said. So,
Oh,
thank you.
we're not
No,
doubting
I
what,
know,
I just,
I know.
I wanna see, I wanna
I just
see.
I wanna make sure that we all take the numbers because I do numbers.
Yeah.
I don't do buying the sky. So, yeah, we did good. We gave everybody what they asked for and spent 1 hour with Dustin today to show him where his budget is. Because when you look at it from that sheet, that's not my design, that's the state design. And I have to put it in a certain area that if he just look at it, might say, oh, that's not what, no, that's what you asked for. When I give it to you to add it, it's what you asked for. So, to make it short now, I just need that decision on the tax rate. I think, I
Are
don't
you
wanna,
looking at me,
I'm not gonna get away because I need that direction to make it.
Do you need a motion for that, or?
Yeah, I
Either
usually
keep or-
say, yeah,
or-
we stay with the,
I would make the motion to, not
stay
not
with the
inflate it.
1547.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Okay.
second it.
Seconded.
Second by Ingers. Okay, how do you vote? Cobal?
Yes.
Caps?
Yes.
Ingers?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Thank you, and it's very much what you're gonna be seeing from now until April is formality of the budget. Hearing, and you might gonna have a special meeting, you know, all these things are formality. These things is done, we're gonna go take it, put it into the budget that you will be seeing it in the paper and all that stuff. I wanna thank you all. I wanna thank all the department heads here tonight. This is gonna be my last budget. Hopefully, you won't see me again. But I hope I've done the best I could to the police, to the rescue, to the fire, to everybody. And I am thankful I have been here for that long to work with all of you. Council members, mayor, former mayor, everybody. It was fun. I know we have highs and lows, but it was fun. And I want you to always remember me as someone tried to help. And I will always be within a phone call. If you need me, just a phone call, except Josh. Okay, we have one more item on the agenda.
Yep.
So don't forget, Mr. Mayor.
Yep. Approval of letter of engagement, Allers and Cooley Law Office.
Yeah, that's what our city attorney referred us to. She very much have what she needs and all the stuff. We just have that formality to approve that engagement letter.
So, I guess, I don't know if we've ever engaged Allers Cooney since I've been on here. Maybe for something behind the scenes, but, you know, we generally, we use Danos for bonds and Dalen, and
Yeah.
we've been using Brick, and now we're gonna have another attorney. How come we didn't send this to Brick Gentry? Because they provide the same type of services.
I think
So, what happened here, with what was going on, the issue was taken to Dwayne, and he doesn't specialize in that category. So he turned it over to his colleague, that handles, situations, special situations, so that's where this is coming from. So it did go to, Dwayne, however, he passed it on to his colleague, and that's where this is coming
Yeah,
from.
very much
basically.
that's what happened. All of this good firm, if you wanna use different firm, it's up to us.
Yeah, I'm just, because I've done work with Brick Gentry, as you have too, you know, he helped with the, when we were looking at annexing stuff or doing stuff on the road out here, and he's helped with our
Yes.
franchise fee.
Yeah.
And I just know that when I talk to him, you know, you get all, I'm not saying these wouldn't do it, but I have experience with getting questions answered
Yeah.
From Steve, and it's very well rounded. It's not just you're answering this point, but he's also going outside, and you get the whole picture. I just kind of, it's just me. I would have liked to have seen like some sort of a proposal or something from him too, where we could say, okay, well, this is what, I don't know.
And,
We're just bringing in another firm,
and this one just primarily deals with employment, and not everything. That's their main focus is employment.
Yeah, Brick Gentry does the same thing too, so they're like one of the biggest, if not the biggest municipal law firm, I think.
Do we
Here
pay
in-
retainers for both Brick and for Dwayne?
No,
No? Okay.
case by case.
Okay.
So, we can.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Well,
That's all it
well,
is.
It's up to us, really,
Yeah.
who you
Yep.
go to, kinda, you can go with Ola, you can go with Steve, they both gonna provide the service that we're gonna pay for.
Do these folks already have the information that we would pass on to somebody else?
I do believe Dwayne has passed that information on.
I think I don't have a problem with Brick Gentry. I do think that if Dwayne is our city attorney and he's recommending this, I would see it as a good recommendation, that these are people that can also provide the service. So, I mean, I don't think I have any issue with the way that they would handle the issue, and I do think that using our city attorney's recommendation, it feels good to me.
Like I said, I'm just
I agree.
throwing it out there.
We need a motion to approve the letter of engagement. Motion,
Yeah, I make a motion that we accept
Yes.
this letter of engagement.
I'll second.
second.
All right, Nelson, how do you vote? Caldwell?
No.
Caps?
Yes.
Engworth? Yes. Nelson?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, before you close, can I just bring something
Yes.
up real quick? I know Jim's been gone for like, what, a week, 2 weeks, week, I think? Do we have anybody that's stepping into that position that's being promoted or what? What's it?
Well, in the meantime, Stephen and Josh are the two reporting to me on a daily basis now.
Okay.
I think Josh is going to get his sewer license, here next month. Steve has until September, so.
Can I say one thing on that?
Yes.
So I did talk to the DNR, and for Steven, he has to wait until after a year in service down there before he's even eligible to take the test. I started the process in November for my test application and everything. They finally got back to me. The soonest I can get a test date would be the middle to end of February.
Okay, I'm gonna cut
So-
you off, Josh. Sorry, this isn't on the agenda, so we probably shouldn't be.
We can talk about it, we can't vote on it.
Yeah, let's hold this off until the next council meeting. I'd feel comfortable, and we'll put it on the agenda. Okay? Meeting adjourned.
Okay.